Hello YouTube, Jared again with part 2 of my Hachette magazine Stormbringer magazine highlight. I officially painted everything. In part 1 I showed off all of the army, everything I painted. Everything that came into the magazine has been painted. So now in part 2 I want to just kind of give you some of my overall thoughts. What were the pros of the magazine, the cons of the magazine, and then some tips and who is Hachette magazines really for. Now that I've got everything done, here's what I can say is actually true. Because I know there's a lot of videos about whether the magazine was a good deal or not, but they were always made before the magazine comes out. So now that the magazine's been a full run, I've actually painted and played with just about all of it, here's what my thoughts actually are about the whole thing. So, first I'll do the pros. The things that I love most about this magazine, first off, price and value is absolutely there. The discount is so much better than even a friendly gaming store. You really get your money's worth. You gotta go premium, pay the extra bucks, get the big models, Karazi, the big Magrunta or Makrusha. Man, there are so many fun things in this kit. It was really worth it to get all the miniatures and to save so much money while doing it. And then, like I talked about in my highlight video, the kit bashing options are unreal. You get so many miniatures. It is a full table, and then there's kit bashing options. Not only that, you have all these extra bits that you can use for basing, for fallen defeated foes for other miniatures, for head swaps, for I was able to take that one warband and add an extra mini and turn it into a brute squad and save myself some money there. Being able to make the extra trolls, the extra night questor. I got a lot of extra miniatures just from doing some real kit bashing on this. Huge kit bashing potential. So great price, tons of minis, great kit bashing potential. And the other thing I have to say is the pacing's good. You're not overwhelmed. You get a decent amount of minis every month. If you're getting it by mail, you're getting 4 magazines at a time. You're gonna get, I think the biggest delivery was maybe 30 minis, but that was the goblins and some other the small stuff, or hobgrots. Most of the time per month you're getting, and it's not really per month, it's every 4 weeks, you're getting 2-3 minis if they're the bigger guys, or you're getting a bunch of the smaller guys, but you're getting 10-15 little minis, like the hobgrots that you can paint fast. And so, great deal in terms of it's not overwhelming. You can paint, you can go behind. I got 3 or 4 months behind. I was able to paint and catch up pretty quickly. I painted this and the entirety of the Scaventide starter box. I've painted at least 1, if not 2 other entire armies at the same time. Yeah, 2 other armies. I painted a small Chaos Space Marine Force, Tzeentch army. I painted a lot of other minis on top of this. This is not all I've been painting. So it is a doable pace. If you're a painter, you can absolutely paint this and stay on top of it and not just turn into a pile of gray. So if you're fighting a pile of gray or sitting and looking at the giant stack of magazines, it's very doable to paint all of this. And the variety, that's what's going to save you. It's not 100 Stormcast or Space Marines. It is a bunch of different armies. You can look at it right now. Look how many colors there are. You have golds, whites, blues, greens, reds. Every color of the rainbow is recommended. You get to use up all those paints. It's a great, great time. There's bone. There's all kinds of different basing options. There's so many things you can do. It is a great time painting. You will get better painting if you paint this magazine. And the painting guides are great. I didn't follow very many of them. I followed a few of them. They're good. I will say the paint magazines, the paint issues look like a bad deal. I get it. It's overcharging for the paint. That's where they make up their money. But getting new colors that you've never had before, or just that restock on lead belcher because you know you're all going to run out of lead belcher and Nuln Oil, getting a few shades that you've never used before, and then having a mini that could really use that color, you're going to find some new favorite paints. There's some colors that I would have never thought to buy that I got in the magazine, tried them out, and said, this is a great color. The squig orange was a lot of fun. I really like that color. I'm going to use it more often. And so it will broaden your painting ability because you'll be using colors that you don't normally use. This is a great magazine to get better at painting. You need to do Hachette. If you are tired of painting, just one army in one scheme and you want to be a good painter. This will round you out better than almost anything. So Hachette magazine is great for painting, even if the paint issues do kind of feel like a ripoff because you're only getting, 2 pots of paint for the same price as a kit. Only other pro I want to add right now is the customer service is actually really good. Hachette magazine, their website is wonky. It went down a lot, but when I talked to them, I had one issue that didn't show up, and ironically, it was the one with Karzai in it. They were super cool about it. They checked it out. They saw the package got lost in the mail and said, hey, we'll send you the premium kit again. No question, no problems, no charge. They took care of me. So Hachette magazine, 5-star service, 5 out of 5, perfect service. Really happy with them. I mean, obviously, they're coming from halfway across the, well, not halfway across the world, but across the ocean. And so there was a couple of days on the shipping sometimes. And sometimes the shipping gets delayed, inventory, backstock, all that kind of stuff. So totally understandable. But their customer service was really good. So website kind of feels a little shisty just because it's really slow for some reason and hard to log in. Sometimes it would, redirect me. It was weird. But got past it. Logged in, sent them a message. They were always so nice, super awesome people. Shout out to the Hachette team. You guys are awesome. Really love what you guys are doing over there. So yeah, that's all the pros. Now for the cons. The things I did not like about this. The first big one is that there was an edition change during the run. So the Americans get it after the Brits. The British were already mostly done, and we were only a couple months in, and then 4th edition launched. Skaven Tide comes out. All the rules are changed. And so I hadn't even finished getting all of the core rules from the magazines, and they were already obsolete. And so the how to play and the scenarios and the rulebook. Now, I had the rulebook from Dominion Box. So it wasn't like I didn't have the rules, obviously. But it was kind of a bummer that all of the rules were obsolete before the magazine run was even over. So that was definitely a drawback. Not really their fault, more of a launch issue and timing thing because GW changes the rules way too often. Do not like that about GW, but I understand why they do it. Keeps the game fresh and it helps them sell more stuff. So that was a little bit annoying to have the rules be completely useless. And honestly, the magazines themselves, I mean, if you love the lore, fine. The scenarios are cool, but I didn't actually really try them out because of the edition change. And then the painting guides were pretty solid. I actually really liked them, except for you painted them across multiple issues, so that was weird. But you painted it for a new painter. If you're coming into the hobby, the paint guides are essential. Also, the assembly guides, people complain about misnumberings. Yep, there's some spelling errors. There's some numbering errors. But the assembly guides will point to the weapon during the guide and say, hey, this is what this weapon's called, and this is where you glue it. And the regular assembly instructions don't do that. And so I actually really like that. I thought that was a really nice touch that a lot of times while you're assembling the model, it's telling you what you're building. Oh, that's so nice. And so the assembly guides, when they're accurate, so good, so good. Really liked that. I'm going back to pros and I'm talking cons. Only other thing that I don't like, 2 more things. One is these are incomplete armies. So if you're trying to play the larger game of Age of Sigmar, all of these armies are missing something. Battle line units, maybe an extra hero. So all of these set you up. The smaller armies. The Stormcast is probably a complete army. I'd say they're complete. Goblins maybe needs 1 more kit. Both of the Orc armies. The Ironjaws especially really need 2 or 3 more kits, or a start collecting box, or a Vanguard box, or a Spearhead box, or whatever you want to call it box. That needed more models. But I have more models, so it works. Cruel Boys, same boat. Need more models. Sylvaneth need more models. Carriage and Overlords needed that starter box to round the force out. But in most cases, you buy the starter box, you pop that on there, and you're good to go. And so all of these armies were completed with a few extra models, a few extra kit bashes, and you get there. So that's kind of a takeaway, but it gets you 80% of the way there, and then you need 1 more starter box or some extra models, and you're there. And it lets you try the army at a smaller force scale. You play that 750-point game, decide if you like them before you buy more models and spend your money. So great way to practice painting, see if you like the army, and if you do, then you can add to it. So it's a con, but not a big con. I'd rather they do this than what I've seen in some of the earlier magazines that I didn't get, because it was before I started collecting, where you got a lot less armies, but they were bigger. And so I like the variety. It's really good. Only other thing that's a gripe, if you're in America, if you're not in the United Kingdom, you don't get the optional add-ons. There were optional add-ons, some bonus minis. There's an ogre and a vampire that the British got that the Americans didn't. I'm kind of bummed about that. Like, I would have loved to have spent that extra 15 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever it was, and get that bonus model. So, little bit of FOMO on that. So, I got a ding, a fraction of a point off on that. But otherwise, this was a great deal. I can't really complain. 100% worth it. Couple of just tips and tricks, and I've already mentioned most of these. You need to be able to paint at least 20 models a month to make this really work and to not wind up with a pile of gray. Let's be real. This is for painters. You need to paint 20 models a month average to be able to get through Stormbringer magazine, or I'm going to assume Combat Patrol magazine, because this is not all you want to paint. You want to paint additional models to round out the models. You want to paint whatever it is you want to paint, a board game, whatever you're painting. A new launch box like Skaventide. I average 30 to 40 minis a month. That's my average painting speed. And so, they're not, really fancy, high quality, Golden Demon winning painting. It's tabletop standard, but I'm happy with my paint schemes. And that, about 30 minis means I paint about 20 minis on to keep up with the magazine, and that gives me about 10 minis average that I'm painting of my stuff. And so some months I'm painting Skaventide for about 2 months, 3 months, and then go back and catch up on the magazine. And I was able to do that because I paint 20, 30 minis at least a month. And so if you're doing that, Hachette magazine, perfect fit. If you're brand new and you don't have anything else to paint, perfect fit. Other thing I have to say, again, cannot say this enough, kit bash, add a few more kits, round out these armies. Don't just leave it as is. Learning to kit bash, learning to save those bits in a bit box, great skill, and you'll really get some extra money out of this. It's a good way to make some money. So kit bash, add some other kits in strategically, do some research. And then if you ask the question, who was this actually for? It's for painters, not competitive players. These are not competitive armies. You will not win a tournament with anything on this table. Or on this floor, I guess. I didn't fit on my table. I tried, but it didn't really fit. Doesn't fit on my painting desk. But you're not going to win a tournament with these magazines. That's not what it's for. If your goal is to go win tournaments, this isn't the way to do it. Maybe if you're able to pick up individual magazines, but you can't do that in America, it might be helpful. But yeah, this is not going to win you tournaments. But for painters, you should do this. And I'll say for narrative players, I play narrative games, which is where I get non-competitive lists and write silly stories and play with my friends. And I'll set up a story and a board, have a couple friends over, get a bunch of snacks for the day, and we'll have a great time. And I'll use the model to tell a fun story. I've written several scenarios, and my friends have absolutely loved rolling dice and moving minis and seeing what happens. And this is a great way to get into a whole bunch of teams together. And so everybody can have their own little tiny squad, and one guy's running goblins, and one's running Iron Jaws, and one's running Sylvaneth, and another friend is running Stormcast. So I did an 8-player game about a year ago, and I had everybody get their own little squad, and it was so much fun. If you want to get your non-Warhammer friends into Warhammer, this is a great way to do it. Have a whole bunch of armies. That way they can walk in and you can say, hey, you see those cool dragons over there? You want to play dragons? Hey, you see that giant orc and his orc army over there? You want to play orcs? You like trolls? You like big armored dudes? You want to see an army of guys who are essentially the superhero Thor? There you go. And so it's a really easy sell to get your non-Warhammer friends in. This is a great game for your narrative players, people who want to get their friends in who are not currently playing, they don't have a club to play with, or you're like me and have lots of little kids and don't have time to get out to a gaming club. This is a great magazine. Now, I suppose I should add one more bonus con, and that's trying to store all this stuff. So make sure you get a good storage system. Don't just shove it all in a box. A lot of these are fragile. They would break if I did that. So I have a whole bunch of boxes and bins that these guys all get sorted into. So that's what I'll be doing. I'm going to do it tomorrow. But tomorrow I got to clean all this up and put them all back in the boxes and label it so I can find stuff. But otherwise, I've had so much fun. I hope, obviously, you can't do Stormbringer magazine, but the Combat Patrol magazine's out, and I'm expecting the next Age of Sigmar magazine is going to be Spearhead, and it's going to be good. I don't know what's in it. Haven't heard any rumors, but knowing the quality that comes out of Hachette, the generosity of GW when it comes to the Hachette magazines. Very good chance we get some good discounts on some good kits, and I'd love to see 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 like we saw with Combat Patrol starter armies all put together. That would be incredible. Now, I have already a bunch of these armies, so I'm hoping we get a bunch of the armies we haven't seen yet. So maybe someday I'll make a wish list armies that I'd want in the Spearhead magazine, if that's really going to come. If we get that announced, I'll have to make a wish list video, and that might be a lot of fun for you to watch. But up till now, let me know if your thoughts. Do you still have a pile of gray? Did you also complete painting everything? And are you getting the Combat Patrol magazine? So let me know your thoughts. I hope this has been enjoyable. It was enjoyable for me. It was a lot of painting, but I'm so glad it's done. And I'm so proud of all my hard work on this over the last almost 2 years it took to paint all of this. So paint a little bit every day and you'll get more done than you think you can. That's a good life lesson right there. A little bit every day and you can accomplish a lot. You don't accomplish a lot all at once. A little bit every day. Stay consistent. 1 model a day and you'll be amazed at how much you can paint. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe and do all those nice YouTube pleasantries. I'm starting to get some subscribers, and that's been really exciting to me. So I thank each and every one of you who has subscribed. And if you like more content like this, be sure to subscribe, and I'll be making more videos. Thank you so much.